Okay, we're back. So what we've done in Photoshop is we've started to build in our layer panel. One of the things some people like to do is duplicate their background copy. You can do that by right-clicking, duplicate layer, or by dragging it down to this little icon next to the trash. This new item icon, right? So if you have this selected, it will copy it. Now here's why I think that's a good idea. This is all my original pixel information right here, and I do not want to accidentally retouch on it or paint on it or anything like that. So quite often I will turn the visibility of that layer off so I get the no smoking sign when I try and do anything, right? Now we have our original DNG, which is located in Lightroom. We are going to save this as a PSD or Photoshop document. You will not save it as a DNG because once it's gone into Photoshop, you can't. So you don't even have to worry about overwriting your original. You can't overwrite your original, right? So the first two things you're going to work with are the curves and a black and white layer, right? And those need to be at the top. At any point, if you click here on this first thumbnail, not the layer mask, but the pixel thumbnail, or in this case, the adjustment layer thumbnail, you can go back in and you can say, oh, I really did not want it that contrasty. Or you can play with some of the presets. Maybe you want it, to look negative or darker or color negative, right? So you can do some pretty cool things in here, but you can always go back to default. And don't forget your little targeted adjustment tool. All right, so I'm going to kind of put one of those on there. Looks good. Now, for this project, we're going to make our image black and white, adjust our curves, and we're also going to change our lighting, right? And we're going to do that by burning and dodging. Burning is when you add additional exposure to an image, and dodging is when you withhold. So let me show you what that means in Photoshop terms. Say I want the bottom of this image to be darker, right? In Lightroom, you'd probably grab what tool? The adjustment brush, right? The K tool. In here, we're going to do it in also a very simple way. At the top of our layer panel, making sure you have that top layer is selected, go down to this new layer icon and click. And what it will do is it will add a layer to the top of your layer panel. Double click where it says layer 1 to change it, and we're going to say burn. We're going to grab the brush tool. Shortcut is B. You want to make sure that you have this brush, not this brush, right? And it has different roommates, so make sure you have the right one. And then you'll go up to your option bar. Make sure your mode is normal, your opacity is 100, and your flow is 100. And if your brush is too hard, you can, I would say just bring it down, 20 to 30 is pretty good, right? Because we don't want a very defined line around the edges. And here's what we're going to do. Using the bracket keys, which are located next to the P on the keyboard, we're going to make the brush a little bigger. And we're going to, whoa, I forgot one giant thing. What did I forget to do? I forgot to make this black and white. So I ended up with this terrible taupe. So what I need to do is I need to set the foreground and background color to black and white. The default is black and white, so I just hit D because I want to paint with black and white to burn and dodge. So let me zoom out. And then, now I'm going to take a black brush and I'm going to paint along the bottom. And now, would you agree that's definitely darker? Yeah. But can you kind of tell that you did it? Yeah, it's pretty obvious. So what we're going to do is change the way that this layer here looks when applied against the layers below it. And this is called changing your layer blending mode. So right now, this layer and all of the paint that's sitting on top is set to normal, meaning it's just sitting on top. It's cheese on top of a hamburger, but the hamburger is not warm and the cheese is not blended in. right? If I change this from normal to soft light, you'll see that I turned on the burner. And now that black is adding additional exposure to that part. So changing it from normal to soft light, and then also it's a little too dark, which means I need to play with the opacity of the layer. Okay, right in here. You'll see that, oh, that really helps, because what was happening is I was looking at the image and this value and this value were so close, I wasn't sure where you wanted me to look first. So burning and dodging helps you change the lighting and actually make sure that you are creating a very strong focal point, right? And we're going to talk more in the next video about how to withhold exposure, which is called dodging or lightening up a part of the image.